What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. With the release of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, it has come to that point in time where I get to finally review all of the Jurassic Park movies, and there are now 5. I can't believe there are that many. If you like dinosaurs, if you like Steven Spielberg, Colin Trevorrow, Chris Pratt, this list is made for you. We are going to talk about this movies, and I'm not giving you my opinion, oh, I think this one's the best one, the most well-made, the best cinematography. No, I account all of those things, but I combine all of it. Nostalgia and how I felt about it when I first saw it, how I feel about it now, the rewatchability. Everything will go into this list. I will put my least favorite at the bottom and my most favorite at the top. You guys can probably guess what my number 1 will be, but what will be the rest? But the most important part about doing a video like this is, what do you think? What are your favorite Jurassic Park movies? Which ones do you just not like? Are you a fan of more than just Jurassic Park? Do you think there's one that stands out other than the first one? If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that notification bell to stay informed on whenever I post. I try to do a countdown every single weekend. Right now, we're talking Jurassic Park films, and we are starting at number 5. At number 5, I have, in my opinion, the weakest of the Jurassic Park films, and that is Jurassic Park 3. Now, I don't think this is a good movie really at all, and it's weird because I love the talent in the producing category with Steven Spielberg. I like the director in Joe Johnston. I just don't think this film worked. And my biggest complaint with The Lost World is that I was missing Sam Neill and some of our characters from the first film. Well, you bring those guys back, but for some reason you go in this odd direction. The only thing I really loved as a kid was the Spinosaurus. I thought that was absolutely awesome, and the visuals get better here too, but unfortunately the story, the plot, where the movie goes, where we end up, it wasn't that intriguing, and it was so mediocre at the time that people kind of fell off the franchise, and when it got rejuvenated with Jurassic World is when they really came back on board. Even though this film has some very interesting scenes, and I really enjoyed it as a kid, when I go back and watch it today, I'm just like, yeah, it's probably my least favorite and the most boring of the Jurassic Park movies. At number 4, this may be an unpopular opinion because some people find this movie either really good or great, but I find this movie just kind of like, Now, I'm not alone. There are a lot of people that didn't like The Lost World, but I'm just one of those. I went back and I watched it actually today to prepare for this list because it's the one that I haven't watched in the longest amount of time. I watched it and it was just as boring as I remember it being when I was younger. The first hour of this film, while it sets up an interesting premise, it just seems to trudge along, especially going back and watching it today, comparing it to other Steven Spielberg movies, which I know I shouldn't. The pacing feels so off. It feels like they couldn't come up with a story interesting enough to go in a different and new direction. And while it does go in a different direction, it didn't really go in an interesting one. And bringing Jeff Goldblum back, while he's great in the movie, it wasn't enough to save it from just being rough to get through. I remember yawning through it as a kid, but I don't remember it being this boring. Now, it definitely picks up in the second half of the film, and it does get progressively better, but the story itself just kind of goes in a weird direction, especially in the last 20 minutes. I don't think this film is bad. There are some good performances, some really good moments, and the dinosaurs look really good, even compared to the first movie. I just didn't really get a lot out of it from the narrative, and that's the most important part, and that's why it's at number 4. Now, I didn't make this list just to walk all over these movies, but honestly, at this point in time, I'm just 2 for 5 when it comes to the Jurassic Park movies. I like 2 of them. I think 3 of them are mediocre, and while this one is less mediocre in my opinion than the last 2, it just didn't do it for me, and that's the most recent entry, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The more I think about it, the more I'm just like, wow, it fell apart at the end. I'm not going to continue saying what I said yesterday in my review. I'm just going to tell you guys, there are great moments. There are very good moments, especially in the beginning with the volcano scene. For me, I thought that really worked, and Chris Pratt once again is really good. It didn't. The further we go with this story, the more we kind of veered off the beaten path, and I liked what it did with setting up certain things, but it only hits on those topics every now and then. There are things pointed out here that have been brought up in other Jurassic Parks films, and we finally get a chance to explore it, but we don't do it, and we repeat beats from past movies that did not work. I don't know why we tried them again. I'm going to quit talking about it because I talked about it enough yesterday, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, it was really a miss for me, even though I liked parts of it. I said 2 for 5, and yes, that means I did enjoy the first Jurassic World. Now, I'm not saying it's a great movie, because I don't think it is, but at least with this one compared to Fallen Kingdom, I had fun and I was entertained. Fallen Kingdom, I got progressively more bored with the plot, but this one, I was still kept like, okay, what's going to happen next? Oh, we're here now. It's action-packed. They have turned Jurassic Park into an action franchise. That's just something we have to accept now because there's nothing we can do about it, and bringing on Chris Pratt, I believe, at the time was was perfect, and he was so good in this role, even though there's not a lot of character development, and there's some weird villain choices, just as there was in Fallen Kingdom. I just still believe that Jurassic World was a fun time and did a good job of getting us back into this world. It integrated John Williams' theme a lot more than Fallen Kingdom did, and even though I like the score for Fallen Kingdom, it was very epic and good, it didn't feel like Jurassic Park to me. They did a better job, Giacchino actually did a better job in this movie than he does the other one in integrating that score and making us feel like we're back in the park again. And even though we're back in the park, we're going to go a different direction because this is of course called Jurassic World, and they did that. Now, are there story problems? Yes. Are there definite narrative issues? Of course. Are there weird scenes on trains where kids are complaining about divorced parents? Absolutely. But they were our conduit into this world, and we were seeing through the eyes of the kids, and I like that, just as we did in the first Jurassic Park. It basically comes down to I was entertained with Jurassic World, whereas I wasn't really entertained with the first 3 movies on this list. Now let's get to the good one. Jurassic Park, my goodness, this is one of the best movies, the best Spielberg movies, the best action-adventure summer movies ever made. I don't really know what happened to that magic afterwards, because it took them, 2 movies to at least get the franchise slightly back on track, and my goodness, Jurassic Park, I guess it was such a good movie at the time. It's hard to do a follow-up, and I understand why they couldn't really successfully do it, but this thing just had everything going for it. It had the dinosaurs, the special effects, but most importantly, out of all of that, it had the really good subtle conversations between characters, raising interesting ideas. Samuel L. Jackson in a supporting role. I feel like I forget about that every time I watch the movie, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, he's in here. Great character moments, great character development. You start to feel what these people are realizing for the first time. Oh my goodness, there are actual dinosaurs. I love Sam Neill in this movie especially, but really all of the actors carry their parts and deliver one of the coolest, most thrilling, and scary movies of the 90s. What an action-adventure film, and I know you guys, most people are going to put this one at number 1, but I want you guys to tell me, why is this your favorite Jurassic Park movie, or why is another one your favorite? Give me your lists. Give me the movies that you love and don't love, and tell me why you agree or disagree with my list. Every list is going to be different, especially 2 through 5. I'm just interested to see on where these lists go. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, I'm sorry I had to sit here and be like, oh, I didn't like this one or that one, but you know what? Jurassic Park, they have a chance. They ended off on Fallen World with a little bit of a cliffhanger, and I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see where they go now, and even though I don't love the writing team, I'm excited to see more, because I can't get enough of dinosaurs on the big screen. Today's comment spotlight comes to us from Afzul Artwork. He says, thanks for your honest review, Austin. He goes on to tell me why he enjoyed Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. What an amazing comment. Thank you so much for giving me these very detailed comments in my reviews, telling me why you do or do not like the movie. I always love comments like that. Be sure to comment your thoughts on this video to be featured in my next comment spotlight. Tomorrow is my very special Stardust reaction collaboration. I have so many submissions, and I'm including every single one of them. Thank you guys for creating that with me. We get to talk about the best movies of 2018 so far. Be on the lookout for that tomorrow morning. You guys are the absolute best, and I will catch you later.